day, beautiful, abundant, beloved, immortal beings, and good-looking people. You're good-looking. So I was looking for and finding the good. You found good in abundance because you tuned in consciously and conscientiously to Ion Las Vegas with your humble host, Barry Shore, the ambassador of joy. Notice I didn't say the ambassador of joy. I said the ambassador of joy. And you are just going to be rocked today because we have somebody so special that's going to join us, going to talk about peace and about bringing peace to the world. And you're just going to love it. It's so good. Now, I got to tell you, people, that I am so privileged. I speak to millions of people every month around the world because I have this podcast, which reaches over 500 plus thousand people, and the joy of living, which reaches another 500,000 around the world. And I do some in-person events once in a while. But really, what happens is when I talk about a place, everything else I talk about, people listen. When I talk about Las Vegas, everybody seems to lean in, open up their ears and their eyes, and they say, tell me more. Because Las Vegas is magical. It really is. It's a place of energy. It's a place of excitement. Yes, of course, it has gambling and sex. That's the small part. What this real place is really about is something unique. It recaptures the American spirit, the independence of what can really happen when people get together and bring their best here. That's why this is the great convention center of the world. Let me tell you an example. If you take the entire population of New York City and everybody around it, the entire population of Chicago and everybody around it, the entire population of Los Angeles, everybody around it, and you add in the entire population of the state of Florida, it doesn't even add up to the number of people that come to Las Vegas in a year. 41 million people come here every year. And why? Because it's a place of energetic excitement and growth. And there is nobody that I want to share with you that is about energy and growth and goodness and peace than wonderful Dr. Dravon James. Dravon, please.
Thank you.
They allowed 519,613 people around the world. So I got to tell everybody, I'm a big fan of Dr. James, and you will be too at the end of our time together because she embodies what she speaks about. And what we're going to talk about today is something that is so close to her because it's the essence of her being is. And I'm going to tell you just a couple of points. So if I spend the time giving your whole CV, it'll take the whole show. I'm going to tell you three things. Number one, she's a transformation specialist. Number two, she's the founder and director of a wonderful organization called Everyday Peace. And number three, she's a mother, she's a daughter, she's a friend, and she lives what she talks about. I'm going to tell everybody what peace stands for from my perspective, and then you can tell them what you think of that idea, Dravon. Peace, from my perspective, stands for progressing every day, awakening, caring energy. So with that as an introduction, let's begin with a very important topic on this day. Usually we don't say the date for the show. The date is October 13th, and the year is 2025. So whether you're going to be watching this in the next few weeks, or you're going to be watching this in 10 years from now, 50 years from now, 100 years from now, people watch and say, what were they talking about on October 13th, 2025? Well, it was the day that the Israeli hostages were released after 2 years of captivity. There is an opportunity at this very moment, for something called world peace, at the very least, for peace in the Middle East, touching tens, if not hundreds of millions of people, and potentially ripple effect out to the world. So let's talk about what I'll call the F word. You ready for the F word, Dravon?
I am.
Forgiveness.
Yes.
Let's talk about forgiveness and peace. You're on, baby.
Oh, and what a day! What a day to have the opportunity to come and share about forgiveness and peace. Then on a day when hostages are released after 2 years of captivity, an amazingness. And we can think about so many times in our own life, can't we? Whether you're physically held hostage, or mentally held hostage, or in your heart held hostage by the chains of unforgiveness. And as a life coach, as a human, I don't take lightly some of the trials and tribulations that many of us have lived through. And I really hope to say not only survived, but thrived too. But here is the fundamental difference between just surviving some of the things that we've gone through and thriving through them. The key ingredient to really breaking those chains that are holding you back in life, and I talk to all kinds of people who say, Dr. Dravon James, I want better health. I want better relationships. I want to make more money. And if that sounds like you, I encourage you to look at this key ingredient, and that is forgiveness. If you're practicing, have a practice of unforgiveness of anything, I know. I hear myself when I say that. And I give, to use Barry's world, I give you a hug because I know that it hurts. But here's what I also know: to move from there to where you really want to be in life, health, wealth, and relationships, all aligned, all prospering, you must let go of unforgiveness. You must embrace forgiveness. I know it sounds crazy. It sounds crazy, right? Because sometimes we're justified. We can be justified, but when we chain ourselves to that, we chain ourselves to that same spot. The first P in peace from Barry just told is progressing. If you want to progress with your dreams, first unchain yourself from unforgiveness, and it is it's what I call simple hard. Simple in that it's a simple act, hard in that repetition. Okay? And when I remember hearing this early as a little girl, and I heard it again in church all the time. Repetition is the pedagogy of success. Repetition, repetition, repetition. So you forgive, you forgive, you forgive. And every time you forgive, you elevate, you elevate, you elevate. And what do I mean when I say forgiving? Do I mean that you have to accept what they did to you, or you have to enter back into relationship? Absolutely not. That can be determined way down the line. Our immediate action is to accept that whatever I wanted from you, your answer was no. Right? Think about that, right? And I have all levels of coach, the clients, people who wanted fidelity and love and warmth in a marriage. And the other partner said, no, not able to give that to you right now. And what you have to do in forgiveness is say, I accept your decision. Parents who want children to live this way, but children say, I'm an adult now, I choose to live this way. And what you have to say is, you've said no to my request, and I respect and accept your no. Not what I would have wanted, not what
Let's
I
unpack a
chose,
few
but
things
for
there.
my own health, for the health of this relationship, for my wealth,
Good.
right?
Let's
For my
discuss.
relationships, and we said health, wealth, and relationships. When you accept what has been offered as that's what it is, that's what they said. I let go of trying to control the situation. What I can control is my response. That's very,
Oh,
very
okay. So
powerful. And that's where
let's
forgiveness comes in play. We hear a lot, Barry, about self-love, and I talk about this with forgiveness because before you can have self-love, the precursor to self-love is trust. Can you trust yourself? And the precursor to trusting is forgiving. Right. So if we talk a lot about going to the end of the story. Oh, practice self-love. I love that. I love that for you. I love that for me. I love that for Barry. I am a person who is in love with love. I love that. But I know that if you go one step further, you have to say, I trust myself. Well, how
okay.
do I trust myself? I have a
Dr.
healthy
James, Dr. James, hold on. I want to put you on pause for a moment because you've given us so much. I want to unpack a few pieces. Can you hear me well?
I can.
Okay. So we began by saying the F word, and it got some people's eyebrows into it. So the F word is forgiveness. And what Dr. James is sharing with us now is powerful, positive, purposeful, pleasant, except that it's not so pleasant sometimes, is it? The ability to accept, especially in people so close to you, spouse, parent, children. There's no closer relationships. Okay, business relationships, that's already two levels apart. I would like for you to discuss the closest relationship of all, and you touched on it, and that is with oneself.
Yes.
Forgiving oneself. Let's talk about the steps to making that happen.
Yes, that is, well, the most important earthly relationship that you will ever have is with yourself. Because guess what? No matter where you go, there you are, right? So getting to know and love yourself is so important. But to get to love yourself is to accept yourself first, right? And many people, Barry, are steeped in unforgiveness of themselves. Oh, I should have known better. I should have done this. Their life is full of should haves. So I encourage people, we talk about looking in the mirror. Look in the mirror and say to yourself, look right in your eyes and say, I love you. I love you. I forgive
Oh,
you for not being perfect. You know why I can do that so easily for myself? Because I don't know any perfect people. There's nobody for me to model for perfection. And I wouldn't want to be the first person who wants to be the first person to criticize everybody else because you're so perfect. You don't want that, right? So I forgive myself for being human. I forgive myself for misspeaking or having a reaction that I'm not so proud of, right? And in that forgiveness, I free myself to have changed behavior. But as long as I am, go ahead, Barry, you're going to say something.
yeah. Well, I want to put you on pause because the stream is so filled with gems. I want people to understand. First of all, you don't have to write anything down. Everything's going to be in the show notes. Dravon is a reservoir of goodness, of giving, of benefit. So I want to go back to your point about being able to look in the mirror into your own eyes and honestly say, I love you. People who want to fly, I mentioned this as an acronym. The word fly is beautiful. FLY. You want to fly? First, love yourself.
First, love yourself. And I don't know if I said it here, but I have this thing I used to tell my kids, you first. Right? You walk into a room, you smile first, you speak first, you extend kindness first. Do that for yourself first, because guess what? Honestly, and here's something that's a really hard pill to swallow, but we're all adults here. We attract people who feel about us the way we feel about us,
Oh, wait
right?
a minute. I want you to say it again.
Right? That's what we do. We are a magnet for that. So if you're walking around and you resent yourself, guess what you get in your life? People who resent you too. They walk up to you and say, oh, okay. You got a sign on your back almost. When I was a kid in grade school, they put that little sign on your back that says, kick me, right? You're like, what's on my back? Right? But when we have that sign on our back, we can have a sign on that says, love me because I love myself. Treat me well because I treat myself well. Forgive me because I forgive
Okay,
myself.
hold
Right?
on,
And
hold
here is the
on,
deal.
hold on right there. We have sponsors that love us, and we wouldn't have them on if we didn't think they're worthy of your time. So we're going to be right back with more Dr. Dravon James. Don't go away because this will unbreak your chains. It will just change you completely. It's so good. Don't go away. Be right back with this brief message. Good day. Beautiful, bountiful, beloved, immortal beings, and good looking people. You're good looking. Job is looking for and finding the good. We found good in abundance. Our cup runneth over with good. Her name is Dr. Dravon James, and she's talking to us about putting a sign on your back and say, love me. You know why? Because I love me. And when you walk around with that attitude, guess what happens? You can break the chains that keep you bound in one place, or carry around those heavy chains like a burden. Just let them down. And when that happens, you can fly. And remember, we said fly stands first. Love yourself, because Dravon, she knows about transformation. So let's continue our path forward. And I just love this whole idea of the ability to recognize that you attract who you are.
Yeah. Absolutely. You absolutely attract who you are. And so, and I want to say this too, that there's the human experience is so dynamic. It is so dynamic because I often ask myself, well, if I'm meant to forgive myself, then why am I built to ruminate on my own mistakes and all this stuff? It keeps us honest, right? Because when I see Dravon is not perfect. And so when I meet somebody else who treats me in an imperfect way, right? I can have empathy. Oh, because I've been imperfect myself. And so what I'm supposed to do is to extend forth forgiveness to them because I've already given forgiveness to me for the 600th time this week of making the same mistake. I'm exaggerating. I hope I'm not that bad, but you understand what I'm saying because I see it. I see myself. But even though I see myself and I see these mistakes, I stand and I say, Dravon, in the mirror, eye to eye, woman to woman, man to man, I love you. I see you've made this mistake again. I encourage you to work on it. You making this mistake, however, does not lessen my love for you. Go forth and do good in the world. That's a pep talk. I give myself my own pep talk. Right?
And by the
I
way,
encourage you.
okay, I
Go.
want you to tell everybody, I'm asking, has that helped you over the past 1, 2, 3, 5 years?
It has definitely helped me. I don't know about anybody else, but who's raised children, but I am a mom who's made many, many, many mistakes. Right? I am a human who's made many mistakes, but your children, they remind you. And so you look and you say to yourself, gosh, what was my thinking? Why would I say it that way? Right? And then you can become so paralyzed if you don't have a good, healthy forgiveness practice that you can't go forth and do good. So you go in your quiet space. And this is definitely what I do. And I ask for forgiveness of myself. And then I go to my children or whoever it is, my coworkers, my staff members, and I say, oh, if I said that a little rough, I didn't mean to. Please allow me to ask for your forgiveness. Now here is the deal. You always grant yourself forgiveness. I don't want to hear that you cannot forgive yourself. Right now, I want you to stop that foolishness. You're important. You grant yourself forgiveness. You make that. Remember, I told you, if you want to get to self love, you got to have self trust. And yourself needs to trust that you will forgive yourself. You got control over that. What you do not have control over is the other person's forgiveness. They may not be as advanced as you are. They may say, no, I'll never forgive you. We'll never let go of it, right? And then for them, what do you harbor in your heart? Warmth, warmth for them, right? Even more forgiveness for them because now you're at a place and you're saying to yourself, because this is a person who's making a voluntary decision to keep a ball and chain on them when they move throughout the world. They're dragging on that offense with them. And you don't harbor hatred for them. You don't harbor unforgiveness. You harbor in your heart, you hold warmth for them and you see them doing well and you move on with your life. But for you, the question was, how do you forgive yourself and has it worked for me? It does. And I do it every day. I have a gratitude practice that I do every day, and I have a forgiveness practice that I do every day. I wrote a book, Forgiveness, The Pathway to Happiness.
Okay,
And
by the
with
way, one
that
second,
book,
moment. It's all in the show notes. You really want to get her book, it's all in the show notes. Let us hear, if you'd be so kind, what is your daily practice for forgiveness? What is your daily practice for empathy or for uplift?
okay, so I heard the first one. I'm gonna go. What is my daily practice for forgiveness? And it's in the workbook too. The first thing I do is I search my heart because we do that anyway. We ruminate on things, and so before I go to bed, I say to myself, if I can remember a specific thing even if I didn't say it out loud. Even if I just thought it about a situation, I write it down. I say, Dravon, I forgive you for having negative thoughts about what happened, with the surgical team. I work in a hospital and sometimes, so, and I write it down and I say, I forgive you for that. I forgive you for that. Right. And so that way I can free myself to go to sleep and let my sleep do what it's supposed to do, which is to restore me for the next day, not torment me about the day that was before.
I want to make mention of something that is so vital and important, and I'm so glad you brought it up. I know it's a little bit hard for you to hear me at the moment. Sleep is the miracle cure. You just said it, it's restorative. If you go to bed to go to sleep in a forgiving mode, almost by definition, you are creating healing to your physical, mental, and spiritual well being. Is that fair to say?
It is so fair to say. And let me tell you, oh, Barry, you're just hitting all the gems today. Everything's a tool or a weapon, depending on how you use it, right? You can use a hammer to build a house or bust a window. So you want to use your sleep as a tool. If you don't have a healthy forgiveness practice, sleep becomes a weapon because you get in that bed and you're tormented. Sometimes it doesn't come. You have insomnia, or you get there and you're reliving the day over and over again. And so many physiological things need to happen as you cycle through the sleep cycle. So many restoration of cells. Um, would you believe that you can actually answer questions, real questions, in your sleep when you go to sleep in the right mindset? So that's why we do this forgiveness practice. It's almost like a brain dump. We let it go. We've already commanded our inner self to say, hey, we've already dealt with that. Thank you so much. We're on to bigger and better things when we go to sleep tonight.
Right. What Dr. James is bringing out is that the subconscious mind is more powerful, more beneficial to than the conscious mind when you allow it to. When you become the arbiter, when you become the director of your life and create and design the life you want, then sleep becomes an aid to helping you. And the key to unlock all of that is this forgiveness practice. By doing this regularly and honestly, correctly, trusting, then sleep becomes what it's supposed to be 6, 7, 8 hours of benefit. Isn't that right?
Absolutely. So when they talk about sleep
Wow.
hygiene, we've all heard it. Remove electronics, correct temperature, all of these things, soothing lights, forgiveness practice, a simple forgiveness practice. And I don't have I use a little index card, and I write on that what I am forgiving myself for the day. And so that's my first thing. And it's just, I try to think of three things because, this is me. Maybe you're better than me. You don't have three things, but I got at least three, right? But on the other side of the card, I write down three things or people that I am also forgiving. Because see, I don't want to take that with me either, right? I no ego. The ego lets go and it lets me rest, right? And as Barry says, and then my subconscious takes over because I've put my conscious mind to bed. When you hear that thing, they said, we only use like 4% of our brain, right? That's because we're so preoccupied with rumination. We're having the same thought over and over and over again. It's like wearing the same dress to every party that you go to. I would definitely not. You probably wouldn't either, right? So we don't want to have these same thoughts. And how we do is we release it. And I like writing it. I've had clients ask me, Barry, what if I just say it? Now, I want to give you this little thing from the mind of Dravon. I've been studying this stuff since I was 17 years old. And hopefully you'll remember this. You and I are creators. That's what we do. And when you take a thought from an unseen world and produce it in a seen world, you're reaffirming to yourself I am a creator. I am the master by my choice, every choice of my destiny. And so that writing it down says, look at me. Look at me. As far as I know, and you guys may know more than I do, as far as I know, there is no other species that can take their thoughts from an unseen world in the world of thought and produce it into the physical world with a pen and paper, right? So I love that because it triggers the subconscious to say, oh my goodness, there she goes again. She's so powerful. And I go to sleep. I've forgiven myself. I've forgiven anybody that I believe had offended me. And I rest and I renew and I start all over again. And that way I'm making a path forward. That's how you do it. You want better health, you want better wealth, more money, better job opportunities, career opportunities, more success in your business, better relationships. Get a healthy forgiveness practice.
Okay. I'm going to begin by saying the following. Dravon, I love you.
I love you too.
What you just brought down to the world is something that every person listening, and thank God we have over 500,000 people, and I want you to share this with 5 people. You want to share with 50 or 100, that's great. At least 5, so we can touch 2.5 million people. Listen to what you just said, because it applies to everything. It applies to forgiveness, goal setting, moving forward in every area, moving from the unseen thoughts to the seen. When it's written down, it becomes manifest because you're the creator. You've done it. No other species in the world can do that. That's what Dr. Dravon just shared with you. If you learn nothing else, you went from the unseen to the seen because you're the creator. I am the creator. I am the master of my life. I am the one who is moving forward. Dravon, I have an acronym for your name. May I share it with you?
Absolutely.
Okay. Dedicated resilience, because that's what you always demonstrate. Dedicated resilience awakens valuable ongoing nurturing.
Oh, oh, there you
Is that who you are? I think so.
you know what? I hope to be on my best day, but I'm going to write that down so I can post it somewhere for myself. But I want to give what I know has worked for me and my clients, and these are truths. They're not my truths either, right? I don't own these truths. These are universal truths. I don't own them, right? I just share them in the way that is natural for me to share them. Just like when I talk to you, I'm so uplifted. You share the truths. They're universal truths, but you package them in a way that touches my soul and the souls of millions.
Share stands for spreading happiness and rejuvenating energy. Well, Dr. Dravon James, I'm so happy that you're here. I'm loath to say the words I'm about to say. We're coming to a close on our time together. I have 3 quick questions for you. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Number 1, will you come back again?
Absolutely.
Thank you. Number 2, you have only 80 seconds to answer this. Dr. Dravon James, what is your most fervent desire?
To spread joy in a way that other people can feel it.
Ooh, I was just touched by an angel. And number 3, can we do a hug together in front of
Yes,
526,000 people around the world? Let me tell you what HUG stands for. Heartfelt, unlimited giving. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
1, 2, 3. And you've been listening to and wanting and enjoying Eye on Las Vegas with your humble host Barry Shore and our amazing guest Dr. Dravon James, the ambassador of joy and the peacemaker, the woman who builds forgiveness. And you just learned how to take the unseen and bring it into the world of the seen, and therefore affirming that you are the creator of your life. So we urge you again, share this with 5 people. We'll touch 2.5 million people around the world. Love the podcast, and we want to give a blessing to everybody. Go forth, live exuberantly, spread the seeds of joy, happiness, peace, and love. Go mad. Go make a difference. Dravon, don't go away.